guys, it's Sami, and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Friday, and we're here to talk about Friday Night Smackdown. I thought overall Smackdown was a pretty good show. They did some interesting things that I'm not the biggest fan of in the tag team #1 contenders tournament that we'll talk about in a little bit. But overall, I thought the show itself was really good, and it did a good job building up to tomorrow's Friday Night Smackdown. Also, we do have Luke here with us. Camera's still giving us some issues, but he's here audio-wise. So, Luke, what did you think of tonight's Smackdown?
Honestly, I thought it was okay. Like, they did a good job of building stuff for next week's SmackDown. And they didn't really do much as far as like building towards like tomorrow's Royal Rumble, because I mean they didn't really need to announce like anything else. Maybe some like new people for the Rumble, but overall it was an okay show.
Yeah, I think
It's not the best, but I thought it was okay.
I think Rumble-wise, they announced maybe like 5 or 6 more men and then 4 or 5 more women. But I knew no more matches would get announced, so that was kind of obvious. And as far as other stuff for the Rumble goes, yeah, they hyped, like they didn't announce much for the Rumble, but I thought they did a good job telling us like every chance they could. Hey, tomorrow's the Rumble. Hey, tomorrow's the Rumble. Don't forget tomorrow's the Royal Rumble. So that's interesting. No Roman Reigns, which I found odd. Yes, he's not there because he's going to be on Jimmy Fallon. But the whole thing on Monday when he told Sami, hey, don't show up on SmackDown because I don't want to see you on any show I'm going to be on until the Rumble. And it's like, okay, well, you're not at SmackDown. Everybody knows Roman's not at SmackDown. So why did Sami have to stay away and be all secretive? You know what I mean? That was kind of weird.
I mean, maybe it was like, hey, if you show up on SmackDown, like maybe Solo's probably gonna do something bad to you, or the Usos will do something bad to you.
Well, you know, Jay wouldn't. Solo kind of did by accident, and we'll get into that when we talk the main event. But with that, I want to say thank you if you're watching live, twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited or youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Remember, you can also catch this podcast later on audio platforms like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. But if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either help by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel one of 2 different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime. Because remember, if you have or have access to Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff of 4 games, and they always give you 1 free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to, and I'd greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. But like I said, you also get free games. Some of the free games you get right now are The Evil Within 2, Beat Cop, Chicken Police, Lawnmower Simulator, which is a lot funner than it sounds, Dishonored 2, Metal Slug, King of Fighters 2003, Metal Slug X, and so much more. But also remember, if you do subscribe over on YouTube, you can help us out over there by becoming a channel member. As a channel member, you get early access to news, early access podcast episodes, early access to non-news videos, and so much more. Also remember to head over to the Epic Games Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, Fall Guys, or Rumbleverse, or not even buying anything, just claiming the free game, well then you can use our code right here, PW Unlimited at checkout, and you'll be supporting us at no extra cost. I have noticed a good number of you guys using it for Fortnite recently, so I do appreciate that for sure. Again, put in code PWU MLIMITED at checkout for all Epic Games and Epic Game Store purchases. So with that, as far as SmackDown does go, the show itself did kick off with a great recap of the tribal court or the trial of Sami Zayn, whatever you do want to call it. SUV then shows up to the building. It's the Usos and Solo Sikoa. And as Jay was grabbing his bags, all of a sudden someone in a black hoodie pops up and it's Sami. Jay's like, hey, you can't be here. What are you doing here? And Sami's like, I know. I needed to come and tell you thank you for defending me on Monday. He's like, if you need anything, ever, at all, call me. Let me know. I've got your back. Jay said, all right, I got you. Thank you. Sami then threw the hood back on and ran off. Zayn got a massive pop for his brief little appearance here. And as soon as they did that, I had a feeling he was showing up later in the main event. I just didn't know in what capacity or what role. And also, so Usos, they pull up right to the front of this like loading bay, and they just never have to move their car. It's just there forever. Because when they left later, when they got kicked out, their car was still in the same spot. So they just get to block the entrance like that. That was weird. But any thoughts on Sami just sneaking in at the beginning of the show?
I felt like eventually Sami would show up during the show. Didn't really expect it to be. I mean, he wasn't really technically inside the building. Like he was outside, and
Exactly.
Jay was like giving him the warning, like, hey, don't be like showing up here because Roman's gonna get upset.
Exactly.
But yeah, I thought they did a good job of like showing like the court from like last Monday and like showing all the stuff that Sami did wrong, and then all the stuff that Jay was explaining that he was doing right for the bloodline. So I thought they did a good job with that.
Yeah, same here. So as we move into the first match of the night, match was Rey Mysterio versus Karrion Kross. It went 7 minutes, and it was an okay match, but there was a good portion. I was
not a fan personally.
Yeah, I was kind of bored. I don't know. It was okay, but I got really bored during this match. So Mysterio was on fire early after he hit a Hurricane Rana and a head scissors. Kross absorbed the offense and rocked Mysterio with a clothesline. He continued to beat down Mysterio at ringside. However, Mysterio did fight back, sending Kross into the ring post. He then hit a sliding sunset flip, and they cut to a break. Kross then took over during a break and hit a backbreaker for a near fall. During the break, Mysterio went for a suicide dive, but Kross caught him and slammed him on the apron. Mysterio did recover and avoided Scarlett's interference. Mysterio hit a 619 on his second try and a splash for a very close near fall. Kross then took back over and hit a Northern Lights suplex. Kross rolled through, and Mysterio, as Kross was like trying to stand up with Mysterio on his shoulders, Mysterio kind of swung around him, crucifixed him. 1, 2, 3, Rey steals the victory. So what they did here, I liked a little, is it's what they call a quote flash win, where Rey kind of just like fell into it and stole the victory there at the end after getting beat up. So they tried to keep Kross looking strong, but gave Rey the win. But like I said, I'm a little bored during a good portion of this match that went 7 minutes and however many seconds.
Well, the reason why I didn't like this match, because for one, I don't think Rey should have gotten the win. And I'm not just saying that because like Karrion Kross is one of my favorite wrestlers, but personally, I just feel like Rey's just one of those guys where if you beat him, it's not really going to affect him that much. And I kind of feel like Karrion just needed the win more.
Yep.
Maybe to like help build him up as like this big like monster that destroys everybody.
No, I totally agree with that. That Karrion Kross does need the win. Because afterwards, go for it.
He's also a guy that just came back to the company not too long ago.
Yeah, what?
And
September, October or something? September time?
And I could be wrong. This kind of reminded me of his first match on Raw. Remember when he had that like he lost because that sneak win of Jeff Hardy?
Right.
Did it not remind you of that?
A little bit. Yeah, I didn't think about that, but now that you say it, yeah, it does. So then we got an interesting segment. Austin Theory comes out. They talk about him beating Bobby Lashley on Monday and the Brock Lesnar stuff and all of that. And then they go to break. They come back, and Austin Theory's in the ring. And the big news coming out of this, well, we'll get to it when we get to it. A lot of stuff goes on, and Theory's in the ring, and he goes, "The champ is here." And I'm like, okay, we know what you're teasing. It's most likely Austin Theory, John Cena at WrestleMania. Whatever. Okay, that's not the point, though. So he brags about the U.S. title and retaining the title, and then he says all the attention's on the now. Screw what happened on Monday. It's the now and what's coming up tomorrow, the Royal Rumble. He would go on to state that he's going to win the Royal Rumble, and everybody would have to learn that he is the future, and then out would come the New Day, flanked with their NXT Tag Team Championships. So I love the New Day. I think it was Woods, where he goes, hey, this ain't the 3-hour show. We don't have time to dilly-dally. We don't have time for you to come out here and just talk and bore everybody. We're the 2-hour show, and we got to make the most of our 2 hours. SmackDown's the more efficient show, and we don't have time to waste. Kingston and Woods then said that they are going to win the Rumble. Either of them. And it doesn't matter who wins, because when one wins, they all win the Rumble. And then Kofi goes, E2. And Woods goes, E2, like big E2, not E2 in Spanish. I thought that was pretty funny. So they're kind of bickering with Theory when all of a sudden the Miz's music would hit. And I'm like, what? Why is the Miz coming out here? So Miz comes out and he mocks Theory and promises that he is going to win the Royal Rumble. Miz looks like he's going to attack Theory, and then suddenly Theory and Miz go on to attack the New Day. As they're attacking the New Day, the music of Bobby Lashley hits to a gigantic pop from the crowd. Lashley runs down, takes out the Miz, takes out Theory. Then he says, I don't care about anybody, and takes out the New Day as well. Lashley then gets on the mic and notes that Lesnar's not here. And he's taking out everybody in tomorrow's Royal Rumble, when all of a sudden, out would come Brock. Brock would run out from the crowd, jump Bobby Lashley from behind, and hit him with an F5 before announcing, hey, Bobby, I'll see you tomorrow. Basically telling us, well, he's in the Rumble. Michael Cole speculated that, well, Brock's in the Rumble. And if Brock wins one more Rumble, he will tie Austin's record of the most Royal Rumble wins at 3. Remember, Brock's already won twice. Austin's the only person that's ever won 3 Royal Rumbles. So Brock Lesnar.
I don't think Brock wins.
No, me neither. But Brock was officially announced for the Rumble tomorrow. What do you think of the segment as a whole?
I thought it was a little weird when Miz and Austin Theory were there. I mean, it was kind of just mainly just hyping those guys up for the Rumble. Because, like I said, like this show was basically just trying to hype up some guys and women for the Royal Rumble tomorrow. And since Brock is in the Rumble, maybe this could potentially build up maybe a Brock versus Bobby match at Mania.
Very likely. It's going to be interesting to see who actually eliminates Brock tomorrow. My guess would be Bobby, but we don't know that for sure. I would assume Bobby Lashley, and then that, like you said, leads to maybe those two at WrestleMania. So that's going to be a big thing to watch out for. Not just who wins the Rumble, but who eliminates Brock. Because Brock being in the Rumble is a big deal on multiple levels. On the level of, can Brock win? I don't think he goes back-to-back. But Brock being in the Rumble will most likely set up his WrestleMania match.
I can honestly see maybe like Bobby and Brock brawling. Like Brock's trying to eliminate Bobby, then Omos jumps in and helps Bobby eliminate Brock.
Possible.
And that could potentially also help reunite the Hurt Business by just adding Omos.
Yeah. So then we got a very controversial moment. Wasn't a planned moment or anything, but a lot of people are unhappy with Lacey Evans right now. Did you notice what happened, Luke, during her entrance?
I did not.
Okay. So if you've been following Lacey Evans online, there's a narrative that she doesn't believe in disabilities, more specifically autism. And as she's coming down the ramp, she's heeling it up. She's big old heel. She's, looking at the crowd like, boo, whatever. And she goes over to this kid in the front row along the aisle, and she goes like she's going to shake his hand and then pulls it back. Well, that kid, at least to me and others online, looked like an autistic young man. And so that really upset a lot of people online because she's already posted things in the past about not believing in autism and thinking that, putting that label on a young child is, what's the word I'm looking for? an excuse for the child not something or other. I don't want to misquote what she said or what the video she posted said, but basically she's believed to be a what's what I'm looking for? A autism non-believer, and to do what she did to that kid in the front row, just like wow. She literally, it was a young autistic boy, and then we think he's autistic. He's got I'm just gonna say he's got some sort of disabilities. You can tell just by looking at him. And she did the whole, oh, I'm gonna shake your hand. No, I'm not. So I don't think WWE does anything about it. There's been a lot of crying out about it on social media since SmackDown and the moment happened. So we'll see if anything does come of it. But basically, Lacey Evans is the new Sergeant Slaughter, or should I say the female Sergeant Slaughter, as she did take on Jasmine Allure in about 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Crowd was dead and didn't care at all for this match. And also, it was the only live woman segment on the show. I forgot to mention, but we got a video before this of Bayley and Damage Control saying they're all in the Rumble. And I don't remember if the Rhea video was before or after this, but Rhea also did a video saying she's in the Rumble, which we already knew. But yeah, for this to be the only woman's thing on the show outside of those two Twitter social media clips from earlier in the day, what the hell? Oh, well, not the only, because there was also a Charlotte segment. I take that back, but we'll get to that later. But as far as the match does go, Evans dominated. They let Allure get like one or two little moves on her. Evans then hit her with the woman's right to knock her out, grabbed her in the camel clutch, or the Cobra clutch, the Cobra clutch, and she tapped out. Allure tapped out for the victory. So Lacey Evans does win here in a match that meant nothing, that means nothing, and the crowd did not care about whatsoever. After the match, Lacey Evans promised that the fans will have to salute her when she wins the Rumble tomorrow.
Yeah, I agree. Nothing a whole lot in this match.
Yeah, nothing at all. So we go to the back. And Caleb Braxton, well, hold on. Bangs in the YouTube or the Twitch chat says they keep forcing the military gimmick on Lacey. It doesn't work in my opinion. Well, I get what you're saying, Bangs, but I wouldn't call it forcing, seeing how she is real life former military. So I get what you're saying by forcing. Maybe they should not use the military thing on her anymore, but we'll see. As far as backstage does go, Caleb Braxton was there with the Bang Bros, Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. I'm not liking this stuff at all. The whole, they each say something and then slap each other, and then each say something and chop each other. And it's getting kind of old already. Excuse me, they've only done it like 2 or 3 times, but it's already getting kind of lame. Banger Bros.
Basically just they're hyping each other up.
Well, yeah, but it's just kind of weird the way they do it. Anyways, thank you, Magnum for the correction. Banger Bros, not Bang Bros, Banger Bros. Anyways, so basically they both think that the other's going to win the Rumble. Sheamus is like, yeah, Drew, maybe you could win the Rumble. And Drew's like, Sheamus, I think you could win the Rumble. And they start like smacking each other. And Kayla's like, boys. What about Hit Row tonight? You got to face Hit Row in the tournament. And they're like, oh, yeah. Well, we're going to beat them. And then we're going to have a banger after banger after banger. And then they walk off. I'm like, okay, cool. We got a cool Cody Rhodes video package, hyping up his return tomorrow night at the Royal Rumble. DDP was in the video, and DDP even retweeted the video talking about how he's watched a lot of different big Cody moments, especially from when he was a amateur wrestler, and hopes he gets to see Cody win the Rumble tomorrow. That was the cool tweet that got put out by DDP. So then we go on to have the tag team match. Drew McIntyre and Sheamus, the Banger Bros, against Hit Row. And as Sheamus and McIntyre are making their way out to the ring, they get attacked by the Viking Raiders. The Viking Raiders beat them down. And officials come to check on them as we go to the break. We come back from the break, and Hit Row's just making their way out to the ring. They get in the ring, and they're there with Adam Pearce. And they're like, so they left. What now? And Adam Pearce goes, yes. Drew McIntyre and Sheamus want to go deal with the Viking Raiders, which, unless I missed something, there was nothing else with those, right? Did I miss something or no?
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, I didn't see anything else with Viking Raiders and Drew and Sheamus either. But so Adam Pearce like they want to go deal with Viking Raiders. They've forfeited their spot in the tournament. They've given up this match. And so Hit Row does the only logical thing and goes, all right, so we win, right? They forfeit, we automatically win. And Adam Pearce goes, no. We're not just giving you a bye into the finals. No one is going to just get gifted a spot in the finals. You have to earn it. And so the team that will be replacing Drew McIntyre and Sheamus are, and out comes Braun Strowman and Ricochet. Like, what? You couldn't have brought back any other team that was in the tournament? And I think it was Wade Barrett had a great line when he said, how can you deny Hit, or something along the lines of, how can you say Hit Row can't have a bye to the next round, yet essentially Braun Strowman and Ricochet can just have a bye into the second round? He's like, how does that make any sense? And it doesn't. You could have added Los Lotharios, the Brawling Brutes. That would have been your best bet, or even Maximum Male Models. But it should have really been the Brawling Brutes getting another chance and taking the spot here of Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. But to add a team that wasn't even... Go for it.
You can keep going.
I was to say, to add a team that wasn't even in the tournament to begin with, kind of crap, in my opinion.
Also, super chat donation, the YouTube chat from Falcon Fighter says, did Sheamus give up on the Brawling Brutes?
No. I wouldn't say
I
that.
don't think so. And Maglemorden Twitch chat says, I almost thought AOP was going to show up.
They're rumored to be returning soon, but I don't know how soon. I don't even know if it's a done deal. Rumor is that Paul Ellering is actually working as their agent, speaking to WWE on their behalf, which is very interesting. Wonder if he will return with them. But, so yeah.
I always liked Paul Ellering with AOP, though.
So did I. Vince thought he was too old for main roster television and canned him. So.
And then they replaced him with Drake Maverick, which I thought was stupid.
Gimmick-wise, like, comedy-wise, it was funny because it was this little small guy with these two big, like, just muscular military-style guys. So, like, comedy-wise, it worked, but I didn't like them being the butt of jokes at all.
Yeah, but like AOP, they're supposed to be like two serious guys. They're supposed to be like
exactly
this big, dominant tag team. They were dominant in NXT. Having Paul Ellering with them was pretty cool, and having Drake Maverick with them, it kind of made them more comedy, and I didn't really care for that.
Yep, me neither. But as far as this match goes, Braun Strowman and Ricochet against Hit Row. Hit Row. Where was I? Oh, I just lost my spot. So Ricochet and Adonis started off the match, where Ricochet did take Adonis down with the head scissors and sent him to ringside to set up for a dive. However, Top Dollar got in the way, and Hit Row took over when B-Fab caused a distraction. Hit Row then took over again and isolated Ricochet on their side of the ring for a little while. Ricochet did fight back, and Strowman got the hot tag. Strowman ran wild and hit a splash in the corner. He sent Top Dollar to ringside, and Ricochet hit a dive, wiping out Top Dollar. Strowman then came in, hit the Monster Bomb, and just picked up the victory. The match itself went almost 6 minutes. That was it. It was okay. Wasn't anything great. It was just like, doesn't make sense, so I'm already not invested in the match and could care less. And so now are they telling us, because fast forward, Imperium wins the other match, are they telling us that, well, these are going to be our winners? So it's like, why would they add them like this if they're not winning the tournament? Thoughts?
I mean, it's kind of hard to predict, in my opinion, who's going to win the finals. I mean, I could honestly see Braun and Ricochet winning. I mean, the only way I can see them losing, in my opinion, is if Gunther screws them over and has Imperium win.
Right.
And then maybe that could set up possibly one of them or maybe both of them challenging Gunther for the IC title.
Interesting. Okay. Breaking news here a little bit, kind of. I need to watch this video, but WWE, I don't know if they're going to do more of these, but I was just sent a Zelina Vega video where there is a wall and like these pieces of paper on the wall. She picked one and that's her Rumble number. So I wonder if they're going to do more of these videos leading up to tomorrow. It looks like she doesn't say what number she got. But give me 1 second to listen to this video and see if she says it or not. Yeah, so she doesn't say what her number is. It would be interesting. I would like for them to tell us some of them. That would be cool if they told us some of the numbers. But I wonder if WWE is going to do more of these and if anybody's going to reveal their number. But so far, this is go for it.
I know in the past they always did like the ping pong balls, and
right.
They did like they did a skit where Sami Zayn like grabbed his number, and then Dean Ambrose or John Moxley like said, "You're number 8 in the Rumble."
So I'll show. I can't play like the actual video or anything, but I'll show what this is. So we have. Let's pull this up on the screen really quick. So we got this here. And so we have this here where they have all these numbers on the wall and she picks one, right? She picks one. She looks at it, doesn't say what the number is, and walks off. And the caption from WWE is, "What does Zelina Vega have in store?" So interesting. I wish they would have told us the number and maybe did a couple more of these. They don't have to do it for everybody, but maybe do a couple of more of these just to be like, hey, so-and-so is number 12. Hey, Xia Li's coming out number 22. It just kind of be cool.
Yeah, I know in the past they always did like those ping pong balls though.
Yeah, they did. That's
what they always did.
They always had the bingo wheel. Does he move forward? Kayla Braxton was backstage with Kevin Owens. Owens promised to right the wrong that happened 2 years ago at the Royal Rumble when, well, he didn't beat Roman Reigns and got screwed by the Bloodline. So I forgot about this, but it was told to me last night. They're 1-1 at the Royal Rumble, Roman and Owens in title matches. Owens beat Roman for the Universal title in 2017, and Roman won 2 years ago. I didn't remember that at all, that they're 1-1. So this is kind of their, quote, Royal Rumble title match, rubber match.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I totally forgot about the one in 2017.
Yeah, that was the one when Jericho was in the shark cage. So
yeah, and Jericho still helped JO win.
Yep. So KO's doing his promo here, his interview, and up approach the Usos. And they start yelling and arguing at everybody. And so Adam Pearce runs in and goes, hey, you guys don't even need to be here tonight. I get it, your brother's got a match, but you're not going to be. Leave. Now. Leave. And Jey Uso has the audacity to go, hey, he started it. And I go, what? He was doing an interview and you guys walked up on him, doofus. But anyways, they kick out the Usos. And we go to break. We come back from break. The Usos are leaving. Car's still in the same goddamn spot, blocking the entrance on the bay door, whatever. Jay then gets on his phone. And he's like, hey, I need that favor. Yeah. You got me, dog? All right. That's what I need. And they go from there. And Michael Cole goes, you think he was talking to Sami Zayn? No. One of them, I can't remember who it was. I just remember hearing one of them say, you think he was talking to Sami Zayn? And the other goes, well, saying dog was a pretty good indication. So I think Michael Cole asked it and Barrett said the second line. So then Bray Wyatt's old music hits. The Wyatt family music. Crowd pops big. Somebody starts to walk out and we go, "Whoa, Bray in the." No, it's not Bray. It was LA Knight dressed up as the old original Bray Wyatt. So he gets some cheers. And I feel like people are cheering him more and more every week as far as LA Knight does go. And so he starts doing his stuff, and the fans are learning his shtick. So they try to say his stuff along with him. And he goes, "Hey, I didn't ask you guys to say anything. I'm talking here." And he does this yeah thing. And Knight starts mocking Wyatt. And he told Wyatt to use every piece of advice that The Undertaker whispered to him on Monday, because he's going to need it in the pitch black match. All of a sudden, Bray would appear on the ramp in a rocking chair to a big pop from the crowd. He told Knight to enjoy himself, and he promised to beat Knight tomorrow in the pitch black match. All of a sudden, Uncle Howdy would show up looking like he was doing some Macho Man stuff, and he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "What the Macho Man? You about to just woo yeah?" I don't know, but I thought this was a good segment. I'm really liking the Bray Wyatt LA Knight stuff. I have no clue what the match is going to be. Bray Wyatt did an interview with Ryan Satin of Fox Sports and goes, "Yeah, I don't know what the match is going to be either. And if they left it up to me to figure out what this match would be, it'd be so overbooked that you wouldn't even understand what's going on." He goes, "I'm half idiot and half genius in that way." I'm like, that's a good way to put it. Half idiot, half genius.
What do you think the pitch black match will be?
I honestly think it's going to be a street fight to where there's going to be a lot of neon purple lights everywhere, and it's just going to be really dark.
Yeah, that's what I think, honestly.
So then we go on to the other semifinal match in the SmackDown Tag Team #1 Contenders Tournament, where it was Imperium against Legado del Fantasma. I really like this match. We've seen these two teams work together in the past in NXT, and they didn't disappoint tonight. These four guys always work well together, and I loved the reasoning for both Gunther, almost said Walter, Gunther and Santos Escobar not being there. Wade Barrett told us Gunther and Santos are not here because they're mentally and physically getting ready for the Rumble tomorrow. So I liked that. They didn't want to have other things on their mind before tomorrow's Royal Rumble. But Zelina Vega did come out with Legado. So as far as the match itself does go, Ludwig worked over Joaquin Wilde early and tried to injure his arm. Wilde did mess up the escape, but did break free. Imperium took over by isolating Cruz del Toro on their side of the ring. Legado del Fantasma then recovered and started mounting a comeback. They set it for a double dive, but Imperium countered with a clothesline. Back from the break, Kaiser caught Wilde with a suplex, and Imperium cut Wilde off in the corner. Wilde then fought back with a DDT. Cruz del Toro then got the hot tag and ran Wilde on both heels. Del Toro avoided Kaiser and hit a missile dropkick. Fantasma hit a double suicide dive to a big pop from the crowd. Del Toro then hit a Hurricane Rana off the top on Giovanni Vinci. Wilde then followed this up with a splash for a near fall, but Kaiser broke up the pin attempt, and Kaiser took out Del Toro. The finish of the match then came when Vinci gave Wilde a power slam off the top. Vinci appeared to possibly injure his knee. Not sure if it was just really good selling, but he looked like he was in a lot of pain. Imperium then hit the Imperium Bomb and picked up the victory. So next week, it will be Imperium against the team of Braun Strowman and Ricochet, with the winners earning a SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. What did you think of the match itself?
I really liked the match. Like, it was the best match of the night.
Oh yeah.
Going into the match, I kind of felt like this was probably just gonna be maybe like short, but honestly, both guys like really stood out in this match. Even Legado. I thought Legado was probably gonna get crushed in this match. Like, no disrespect to Legado whatsoever. I like Legado, but yeah, this was a really good match. I enjoyed it, and I think Imperium and Braun and Ricochet, they had a good match on like I want to say Christmas Eve.
Oh, you're right. I forgot about that.
They had that. They had a good match on that SmackDown. I think next week it could potentially be better.
I honestly forgot about that match. Let me see. I can double check exactly when that match was. It was so it was the Miracle on 34th Street fight on December 16th. Which that was a pretty good match. Next week's match is going to be just a straight up regular match, so not going to have all the frills and the gimmicks and everything.
Magmorn in the chat said, "Who can forget the Nutcracker spot?"
True, me, because I forgot about that whole episode of SmackDown.
It was a pre-taped SmackDown actually, because
Yeah.
they wanted everybody just to be home for Christmas.
Yep. Also, guys, remember, if you are watching live on YouTube, you can get your comments, questions, or concerns read live on the air by donating a super chat. All super chats do benefit the channel and keep us going and allows us to do even more with our content. So remember, donate a super chat to get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air. So we got a Royal Rumble hype video, basically, before they sent it to the back, where Charlotte Flair approached Adam Pearce. But even before that, so they showed a video of Charlotte Flair doing an interview with Ryan Satin. And during the interview, Sonya Deville would walk up. Sonya would just reiterate that she wants another shot at Charlotte in the title before she was eventually taken away. So they're in the office, Adam Pearce and Charlotte Flair, and she's like, "I want Sonya. Like, I'm over this. I want to take care of it. I want to get her behind me." She's like, "And if I have to, I'll even put my title on the line. I don't care." And Pearce is like, "You sure?" She's like, "Yeah." He goes, "All right, next week, you're defending your title against Sonya Deville." So this is a lesson for any WWE superstar that wants a title match. Be freaking annoying and annoy the champion to the point where they just want to fight you to get you out of their hair, and you'll get a title shot. So there we go. Any thoughts on the way this has all been built up?
I mean, it's literally just to give Charlotte an opponent for title.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people kind of felt like this was going to be another match at Royal Rumble.
That's what I was going to say.
I didn't really think so because they already got 5 matches announced, and I know there's already going to be a lot of time for each Rumble match, so I didn't feel like they would have enough time for this match. So,
well, I don't see this match getting a lot of time, and maybe 10 minutes max. So they could have squeezed it in somewhere at the Rumble, but it's next week on SmackDown. It's just a title match to get people interested, hopefully. So as we move on to our main event, the match
I wouldn't be interested.
Yeah, most people probably wouldn't.
I would not be interested in that match.
So we go to our main event. It is Solo Sikoa against Kevin Owens. Match went 11 minutes and 10 seconds before ending in a disqualification. So Owens and Sikoa worked really well together. I thought this match was really fun while it lasted. Owens and Sikoa started trading lefts and rights and all kinds of shots right at the bell. They then traded some shoulder tackles until Owens hit a senton. Sikoa regrouped at ringside and sent Owens into the barricade. After a commercial break, Sikoa missed a splash in the corner, and Owens fought back with an inverted atomic drop and a clothesline. He then hit a DDT for a near fall. Owens then climbed to the top rope, but Sikoa did cut him off. Sikoa tried for a superplex, but Owens knocked him off and hit a frog splash for a close 2. Owens rocked Sikoa with a super kick and Sikoa responded with a super kick of his own. Sikoa then followed this up with the pop-up Samoan drop and got a near fall off of it. Solo Sikoa then missed a splash in the corner, and Owens hit a super kick and a cannonball to regain control. He followed this up with the Swanton Bomb and had the match just about won when Sami Zayn would show up and pull Solo Sikoa out of the ring. Fans broke out into a loud Usi chant. A furious Kevin Owens would confront Sami Zayn. While they're arguing a little bit at ringside, Sikoa got back to his feet and tried to super kick Owens. Owens telegraphed it, moved, and Sami took the super kick instead. Owens and Sikoa then ended up fighting around ringside. Sikoa got the better of it, and then Owens set him up for a splash on the announce table. Owens recovered and got Sikoa with a powerbomb on the table that didn't break, but Kevin Owens did stand tall at the end of the show. Owens grabbed a chair and yelled at Sami. He turned around and hit Solo with it. Michael Cole then ran down the card for Royal Rumble, and Owens promised us that he will beat Reigns tomorrow, and he will see Sami as well. He literally looked at Sami and goes, I'll see you tomorrow. So good match while it lasted. It went about 11 minutes, and it built up more for, did Sami actually accomplish what Jay wanted him to do? Yes or no? Any thoughts?
I mean, Jay told him, like, hey, you can't be here or else Tribal Chief would get mad. And he was there. And this honestly kind of helped. And this honestly kind of like helps build up Roman also getting like more upset Sami because he didn't like really do something about like KO standing tall. Like he didn't do anything about that.
Well, correct. But Sami left and Jay called him back. Jay assumably asked him to be there and interfere in the match. So if Roman gets mad, all he can say was, Jay asked me to do it. But then Roman, can you look at him and go, so Jay's the head of the table now? Jay's your tribal chief? Jay tells you what to do? So there's going to probably be some segment about this tomorrow before the actual Roman Reigns KO match, I would assume, whether that's on the pre-show or at like the very beginning of the main show.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
So as far as next week's do go, we already talked about that, but we'll just run it down really quick. In the finals of the Smackdown Tag Team #1 Contenders Tournament, Ricochet and Braun Strowman will be taking on Imperium, and the Smackdown Women's Championship will be on the line when Charlotte Flair defends against Sonya Deville. So there we go. That was everything that went down last night, or actually tonight. I don't know why I said last night. Tonight on Friday Night SmackDown. Overall, I thought it was a pretty good show. Any closing thoughts?
I mean, towards the end, I didn't really expect KO to lose, but I also didn't really want Solo to lose. So this was honestly a good way to make sure like both guys kind of like stay strong.
Yep.
And this was also a good way to help KO like go strong into his match against Roman tomorrow. So overall, I think it was a good ending.
Yeah, it gives
It's going to be interesting to see how Roman.
Go for it.
But I do think it's going to be interesting to see, like, does Roman actually do something about Sami tomorrow, like at the beginning of the show? So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, and it does give Owens some good momentum going into the match that nobody expects him to win. That's just the brunt of it. But with that,
honestly, the one thing that people are interested in most in the like the KO versus Roman match, will Sami Zayn actually turn on Roman?
Yep.
That's the one thing that everybody's interested in the most.
Yeah, that would be very interesting. So yeah, that's everything that took place tonight on Friday Night SmackDown. Remember, I will be back live tomorrow night following the Royal Rumble. We'll break everything down. We'll talk about both Rumbles, all 3 other matches taking place on the show. And in the morning, we will have our preview / predictions going live. Luke and I will be doing those, breaking down basically everything that we are expecting to see tomorrow night at the Royal Rumble. So with that, guys, I want to say thank you for joining us here, whether you're watching live, twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, or on youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, or if you listened later, whether that's on YouTube or whatever, or podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. So with that, guys, have a great rest of your night. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here tomorrow for the Rumble. Have a good one, guys.